All right, everyone. Thank you guys for joining me here on this Sunday, March 31st. Happy Easter to everybody. Hope everybody's having a great Easter out there. And looking here today, we do have some severe weather stretching across portions of the Midwest into the Ohio Valley. That's a marginal to slight risk of severe weather and more of just kind of a hail threat and a damaging wind threat. What we're going to be focusing on today's live stream here this morning is actually a significant severe weather outbreak, likely, if not expected, to unfold as we go into Monday, April 1st for April Fool's Day. And I certainly do think that that could be one of our more significant days of severe weather so far this season. And then going into Tuesday, April 2nd, the day after tomorrow. So definitely keeping an eye on those 2 days. Let's look here at your 500 millibar vorticity signature here on your Monday morning, or going into Monday morning time frame here. And what this basically implies is where the lift is in the atmosphere. The brighter the color, the more lift there is. And you can see the base of that trough, that subtropical jet down here with the eastern Pacific moisture moving in across the Baja of California, northwest Mexico, and transporting that moisture into the southern plains on Monday. And that will fuel some severe weather and instability out here. Then as we go into Tuesday, the main trough will actually move across the southern plains and the deep south, and the warm sector of the storm will be setting up across the eastern U.S. on Tuesday. And then you have a little bit of a cold pocket aloft to work with on Tuesday. So Tuesday is also a day where the storm system actually matures more. And I think that Tuesday could equally be as significant as Monday here. So definitely keeping an eye on that day. And then as we go into Wednesday, we're probably not looking at a severe weather risk unless maybe you live down in North Florida, maybe more of a low end day for severe weather. You can see this big upper level low or surface low start to develop here across the Ohio Valley and into the eastern lakes. And this is going to kind of curl up like a cinnamon bun. And that actually means that it's going to pull down a lot of colder air. And we're going to see some snowfall, actually, wet snowflakes on the northern side of this storm system on Wednesday. So let's look here at the severe weather risk from our friends over at the Storm Prediction Center. This is their 1 o'clock in the morning update from this morning. Now this will be updating at 12:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time here in about an hour and a half. So this could look a little bit different, but right now this is what we do have at our disposal, and we have an enhanced risk of severe storms from eastern Oklahoma into southeastern Kansas, northwestern portions of Arkansas, into downstate Missouri, into the Ozarks region, into southern Illinois, and far southwestern Indiana. That is a level 3 out of 5 on the scale. That's the enhanced risk. In the yellow shaded color, this stretches from North Texas all the way over here through southern Indiana, northern Kentucky, and southwestern Ohio. That is a level 2 out of 5 on the scale, so a little bit lower of a threat. And then the dark green area, that stretches all the way down towards the Rio Grande Valley or south central Texas, all the way back here towards the Texas Panhandle, up into central Illinois, over here into West Virginia, northern Virginia, into central Ohio. That is a level 1 out of 5 on the scale for severe weather on Monday. So a large-scale severe weather outbreak is likely to unfold as we go into Monday. And let's break down the hazards of which these storms could produce. And you can see we do have some severe hail. We could have a 30% hatched risk for hail across portions of Missouri, especially central down into southwestern Missouri, southeastern portions of Kansas, northwestern Arkansas, and into eastern Oklahoma. Those are what the initial supercells that will be developing here preceding our big event going into Monday evening. This will be Monday afternoon supercells that could be producing those 2-inch, even 3, even maybe even 4-inch diameter hailstones, much like we saw in Kansas literally a couple of weeks ago. We saw huge hail in those areas, over around baseball size, tennis ball size, softball size hail. So we definitely could see a repeat of that potentially as we go from eastern Oklahoma into southeastern Kansas, northwestern Arkansas, and downstate Missouri as we go into Monday. But the hail risk along that warm frontal boundary could extend as far east there as the Mid-Atlantic and the Ohio River Valley there. So we're going to continue to watch that on Monday. Another big risk here from these storms will be tornadoes, and strong tornadoes they could be, especially here for Missouri into southern Illinois. We do have a 10% area of tornado probability across southern Missouri, southern Illinois, and southwestern portions of Indiana here, right near the warm front and just south of it. We're going to have a lot of turning of the winds with height here. We're going to go into more detail in just a moment, but you can see those hatched areas. That does mean a long track, strong tornado or two could be possible right near the St. Louis area, just to the south, down towards portions of Carbondale in Illinois. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Branson over there towards Springfield, Missouri, very close to your area. So definitely keeping an eye on that for Monday. But the tornado potential extends all the way south. Dallas, Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, Tulsa there, into Little Rock, Jonesboro, that stretches up into Louisville there, into portions of Cincinnati, and we're just seeing a large area of tornado potential. Another large-scale outbreak is possible there on Monday. And then right now, not a hatched area for wind. I would not be surprised if the Storm Prediction Center actually added a hatched area for wind, as we're going to have upscale growth into a squall line, or what we call a QLCS line of storms, as we go later into the evening on Monday. This could have enough energy, and wind energy at that, to produce some significant damaging winds over 75 miles per hour, what we're seeing here. So we're going to continue to watch this. Again, the Storm Prediction Center will update this outlook at 12:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time here, and that's about, an hour and 20 minutes away or so. So we're going to continue to watch that. Let's look at more of the parameters here that are in play for your Monday a little bit more closely. You can see dew point temperature is going to be a big deal here. You can clearly see where the dry line and surface cold front will be. You're going to see the surface warm front to the north. Just to the north of the warm front, dew points are dry into the 30s and 40s, but you can see where the warm, moist, and unstable air will be. Dew points will be in the mid-60s, all the way up perhaps almost to north central Missouri there. So like St. Louis, you're going to be in the low 60s for dew points Monday afternoon. 65-degree dew points on that dry line, surface cold front there as it comes through from western Oklahoma to central Oklahoma there. So Oklahoma City, Norman, very high dew points there. A lot of lift with that. 68-degree dew points down there into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Maybe getting close to 70-degree dew points down here in towards Texarkana there as we go into Monday. This is going to lead to some very nice CAPE for this time of year across this region. This is your surface-based CAPE, your convective available potential energy. And you can see these values are hitting high for early April standards. You can see around 2,000, perhaps closing in on 3,000 joules per kilogram here, according to the HRRR model that was at 12Z. So definitely seeing that across Missouri, into southeastern Kansas, eastern Oklahoma, and Texas, over here into Arkansas, southern Illinois, as we go in towards that Monday time frame. So let's look at the wind energy, the kinematics with this setup here. You can see there's going to be a very potent jet streak right across portions of the south central U.S. And on the mouth of that, we're going to see some very volatile weather that's overlapping our moisture, overlapping our instability here. So we have a jet streak punching into eastern Oklahoma, parts of southwestern Missouri near the Joplin area, getting in towards Springfield, Jefferson City, up towards St. Louis, of around, 50, 60, 70 knots, even down here in eastern Oklahoma, approaching 90 knots here in the 500 millibar mid-level jet. And then you look at the low-level jet for Monday afternoon, and you see right along that warm front, we're going to have to watch for the turning of the winds with height, and we have enhanced low-level wind shear up here, but then we also have some storms that could turn severe and rotate in eastern Oklahoma as well Monday afternoon. But notice, the low-level jet will increase Monday evening. So we're naturally see the low-level jet increase during the nighttime hours, but this is going to coincide with those moisture levels into the 60s, dew points close to 70. That's going to coincide with our instability, 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram, and our mid-level jet we're just showing you. So a lot of things are coming together here for a fairly significant outbreak as we go into that Monday afternoon evening time frame. Let's look at what we also call a significant tornado parameter. That puts all of those factors we just put together, the moisture, the dew points, the instability, your surface CAPE, and also the wind shear that we're just looking at, 500 millibar, 850 millibar mid and low level jet, and put it all together in what we call a significant tornado parameter. And you can see Monday morning into Missouri, up here near the warm front, we're going to see values hitting up to around 2, 3s, and 4s, which essentially, if you multiply that by 10, that gives you a chance of a tornado of around 20, 30, 40% if you do have a storm interacting with this environment. Very well, we may not have storms in southern Missouri Monday morning. They may not fire, but if they do, they could acquire some at least weaker rotation. But I think the Monday morning time frame will be more of the large hail and maybe damaging surface surface wind gust event. So we'll keep an eye on that. Monday afternoon, things do change here downstate Missouri. We're looking in the Ozarks region. So if you live down here in Branson, if you live in Springfield, if you live into St. Louis, into Jefferson City, we need to keep an eye on this down into Missouri and southern Illinois as we go into Monday afternoon. This is near the surface warm front and just south of it. So we're going to continue to watch this. These values as we head into your Monday afternoon are actually up to 10s, folks, maxing out at 10s. So that is essentially giving you a certainty that one of these storms will probably acquire rotation and produce a tornado if they do interact with this environment in southern Missouri near the warm front, if they get surface rooted enough as well. And then as we go into Monday evening, we'll still have a tornado threat along the warm front there. We'll have to keep watching it as far east as southern and southwestern Indiana, southern Illinois into southern Missouri here, but I think the higher values are hitting here into eastern Oklahoma, that dry line surface cold front intersecting that warm, moist, and unstable air, and then even over to the Little Rock region. We're going to have to keep an eye on this for tornado potential, really maxing out there at 22. So we're seeing some pretty high values as we go even into Monday evening, and this is likely to be the peak of the greatest severe weather coverage and intensity will be Monday evening across this event. So let's give you more of a broad timing here of the forecast for your Monday. Let's look at what the future radar could look like. So this is Monday morning. Notice we got some drizzle, some lighter showers to the north here. These are elevated showers. These are north of the warm front, so they're not surface rooted. We're not going to see any severe weather with this. Now, could we see a shower or storm develop here in Missouri? In that environment we were just showing you Monday morning, where we're already seeing some of those 2s, 3s, and 4s on the significant tornado parameter, the answer to that is yes, we definitely could. If we do, then I would not be surprised if we started off Monday morning with a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning across southern Missouri or downstate Illinois. Definitely a possibility. As we go into Monday afternoon, now it's going to be a slow uptick at first of severe weather coverage here. We do have to watch the warm front. It appears the HRRR, at least the 12Z run of the HRRR, is attempting to initiate the warm frontal storms first, and we're waiting on the dry line and cold front still most of Monday afternoon here. So at least during the early and mid-afternoon hours. So I'm really concerned here near the warm front. Ohio and Indiana know it best. They did have tornadoes back in March near the warm front, and this is another warm frontal setup here I'm concerned about from Cincinnati and Dayton, Ohio, all the way over here towards Evansville into just south of Indianapolis. I think this is going to be a big deal here, and we have to watch out into Carbondale here, down into portions of Springfield, Illinois, getting into, say, Effingham, Charleston, Mount Vernon, Illinois. I'm trying to just spell out some smaller cities here so you guys understand where the warm front could be. St. Louis. That'll stretch over there to Jefferson City and Springfield, Missouri, and then that could stretch over as far west there as Joplin. So we really have to keep an eye on that as we go into Monday afternoon. These storms will likely be producing hail and damaging winds, but if we have enough rotation acquired with that significant tornado parameter, we certainly could be talking about here, some rotating thunderstorms producing tornadoes. So we'll keep an eye on that. Going into the evening, after a slow uptick, and we're mainly watching warm frontal storms through the afternoon, I think late afternoon, we're going to start to watch that dry line light up like a Christmas tree, folks, across Oklahoma. This will be central and eastern Oklahoma, into southeastern Kansas, into Missouri. This is going to light up quickly. We're going to have multiple supercells developing simultaneously. And I'm concerned initially about very large to giant hail. We could literally be talking 2 to 4 inch diameter hailstones here, and we could be talking about damaging gusts that could be up to 70 miles per hour with these initial supercells. And if they remain discrete longer here, now this is a question mark. Some weather models have these storms developing and remaining discrete longer, which means they're all by themselves. If that occurs with the wind shear and the energy, the instability in place, this could lead to more tornado and stronger tornado potential. So with the new update on the Storm Prediction Center, I am actually eager to see if they do stretch that 10% hatched risk for tornadoes down into eastern Oklahoma. That is definitely something that is considered a possibility as we do get closer here towards this event, because I'm seeing some dynamics here. You see one supercell potentially near the Red River. You can see down here toward Ardmore, maybe up there toward the Fort Smith area in Arkansas, kind of more of those semi-discrete supercells, and those could be strong tornado producers as we go into Monday evening. And then going into early Tuesday morning now, we're talking after midnight. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning essentially. This is going to be what you call an MCS, a mesoscale convective system. It's going to develop, it's going to organize with all of that wind shear, a lot of organization to the storms. We're going to see them moving east across the lower Ohio River Valley into the Tennessee Valley. So Kentucky, you're waking up Tuesday morning. You're going to see a lot of loud thunder, or you're going to hear a lot of loud thunder, see a lot of lightning out there. And then back to the west, we're still watching some storms. I think at this point, severe weather is actually going to start to wane in coverage and intensity, but we still need to watch those southernmost storms. The instability is still stronger down here in towards Tennessee and Kentucky and back towards southern Missouri, Arkansas region. We need to keep an eye on this even after midnight. So we definitely could see a situation where we have severe weather starting Monday afternoon, if not even Monday morning with a couple storms, but Monday afternoon going into the evening, and then nearly unimpeded severe weather warnings and tornado warnings potentially all the way through your Tuesday morning commute. That is definitely a possibility here with this setup in place. Now, we're not done. This is on Tuesday, folks. We have another enhanced risk of severe weather. This covers Kentucky now. So this is more of an Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, Mid-Atlantic setup as we go into Tuesday. So this is an enhanced risk, another level 3 out of 5. For Kentucky, this is central and eastern and northern Kentucky, and then into southeastern portions of Indiana, southern Ohio, and western West Virginia here. In the yellow, we're seeing a slight risk, a level 2 out of 5 on the scale. We have that stretching from Delaware and Maryland, southern Pennsylvania, all the way through northern Virginia into central Ohio, central Indiana. That stretches down into middle and eastern Tennessee, northeast Mississippi, northern Alabama, and northwest Georgia there, and a very small sliver there of far western North Carolina. So we're going to continue to watch that as we get closer to Tuesday. And again, all modes of severe weather here will be in place for Tuesday. Tornadoes, possibly strong tornadoes. We're also looking at some large to very large hail and also damaging surface wind gusts with this setup. And some of that severe weather, even a marginal risk in the dark green, extends all the way down to places like Hattiesburg, into Jackson, into Gulfport, into the Mobile region, and perhaps almost as far south as New Orleans. So we're definitely seeing that on Tuesday. Tuesday setup, not as much instability, and I want to enhance this, methodology that you don't need a lot of instability this time of year for severe weather. I know a lot of people out there think that you need, 3,000, 4,000 joules per kilogram of instability. You need the strongest instability ever. Well, you really don't. So here's your instability on Tuesday. Mid-Atlantic, lower Ohio River Valley, Tennessee Valley, down into Dixie Alley region, around, 500 to 1,000 joules per kilogram instability. While it's not the greatest instability reservoir, look at the wind shear on Tuesday. The wind shear is actually stronger Tuesday than we are seeing on Monday with the mid-level jet. This is the 500 millibar mid-level jet. That is going to compensate for the lack of instability. Sometimes the wind shear can kind of compensate for the lack of instability, even if you have 500 joules per kilogram or 1,000 joules per kilogram here. You got a cold pocket aloft moving south, so enhanced colder air on the backside of that cold front. That's a pretty dynamic setup there for Tuesday. I'm kind of concerned about this more today than I was yesterday. And then you can see the low-level jet is much more significant on Tuesday than it is even on Monday as well. So looking here at Kentucky, southern Ohio into southeastern Indiana, Tennessee here, and perhaps West Virginia, I'm really concerned about this. So like Lexington, Kentucky, over here to Pikeville, up there towards Cincinnati and Dayton, and over here into Columbus, Chillicothe, Charleston, West Virginia, Nashville, Crossville, Cookeville, Knoxville, Chattanooga. These areas I'm concerned about the most significantly because our low-level jet on Tuesday is actually kicking in around 50 to 60 knots, even 70 knots potentially in central Kentucky, which is very fast flow in the low-level atmosphere here. So let's look at Tuesday morning. Possibly unimpeded severe weather. We could go right into Tuesday morning commute, right through Tuesday mid and late morning. with severe weather here ongoing, Kentucky, Tennessee, down into Mississippi here, possibly a few storms we're watching still near that warm front into West Virginia and southern Ohio. And then we see it light up like a Christmas tree again as we go into Tuesday afternoon. West Virginia, Ohio, southwestern Pennsylvania. Yes, you folks up there in Pittsburgh need to watch this as well. And then all the way down through Kentucky, Tennessee, into Mississippi, the Jackson region, up there toward Tupelo, and into the Florence area there, into northwestern Alabama. And then as we go into Tuesday evening, night, the atmosphere stabilizes. We start to get rid of our severe weather coverage and intensity as we go deeper into Tuesday night. And then the cold front will actually shift off the East Coast as we go into Wednesday. And then notice we turn this over to snow for our folks in Michigan and into southeastern Canada, and turns into a big snowstorm up here on Thursday that continues into Friday. So that's what we're seeing with severe weather. Well, what about precipitation amounts here? So this is not only going to be producing significant severe weather Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be producing some potentially repeated rounds of heavy thunderstorms across portions of the warm frontal boundary. So up here into Illinois, into Indiana, over into Ohio here, southern lower Michigan, into West Virginia, into the mid-Atlantic, just in general here, Delmarva region, we're going to see a lot of heavy rain. And there could be a swath here from, say, Peoria, Illinois, through Indianapolis, in through Dayton and the Columbus region, into Pittsburgh, Charleston, stretching over to Washington, D.C., over to Baltimore, stretching to Trenton in New Jersey. That's the corridor. We could see 2 to 5 inches, maybe 6 inches worth of rain in a localized spot or two. And that certainly could lead to some flash flooding potential, at least isolated to scattered flash flooding potential in some of these areas. Also on the cold side, yes, we're talking about potentially some very heavy snow up there into New England as we go deeper into the later in the week time frame. So we're talking into Maine, into Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, even eastern New York here into Massachusetts. Some of these areas we could easily be talking a foot of snow again as we go on the cold side of this storm. So this is going to be a big deal for you folks up here again that just got done with a couple recent snowstorms. We're going to have another couple of snowstorms coming as we go later on into the week. So that's kind of the update here this afternoon. If you guys have any questions about the severe weather threat, about the snowfall threat, about the heavy rain threat, make sure to put that question down in the live stream chat. We will be here with you for a while to answer as many questions as possibly can. That's why we're here. We're live. So thank you guys for joining. If you guys are here, also make sure to press the like button down below. Subscribe to Weather on the Go so you guys stay updated. I just posted a video this morning. I'll continue to post videos throughout the year on your weather forecast. We do them accurately here on this channel. Also pinned at the top of the chat is North Central Weather Center, my second channel that focuses on the northern and central plains, the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Ohio Valley. If you want more detailed, accurate weather forecasts for those areas, make sure to go subscribe over to that channel. I'll put a video out tomorrow on that one. That channel's video schedule is Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and the weekends if needed. So that's what we're doing on that channel. So thank you guys so much for the support and being here. So let's get to your questions. Let's see here. Oh man, so Johnson City, I have a question about eastern Tennessee, so let's go there real quick. So let's look at Monday's threat zone for that region. So let's go back to Monday here real quick on the outlook. So Monday's threat there, we had a question about Tennessee. So eastern Tennessee and Johnson City, that's east of Knoxville, you're in a general thunderstorm risk, non-severe thunderstorms there on Monday. So you'll be A-OK from severe weather there on Monday. Skipping ahead to Tuesday now, we go to a level 2 out of 5, a slight risk of severe weather for the Johnson City area. And I definitely could see this expanded and potentially upgraded to an enhanced risk as we do get closer. It's something to continue to watch. But right now, the highest potential for severe weather on Tuesday is Kentucky, into portions of southern Indiana, southern Ohio, and into western West Virginia there. So we're going to continue to watch it. So Lexington, Pikeville, over there towards the Cincinnati and Louisville region, and then Charleston, West Virginia. That's kind of the highest area of concern for severe weather intensity and coverage on Tuesday. So Johnson City, you are in a slight risk on Tuesday. Yes, the flash flooding threat is scattered. Not everybody's going to see flash flooding. It's just a potential here because we have multiple rounds of rain. So, like if we look at the precipitation amounts here, you can see a lot of this rainfall is actually just going to be falling in a 3-day period, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, from Illinois back through the Ohio Valley there into the Mid-Atlantic. And a lot of these areas could be seeing at least 2 inches to as much as 5-6 inches of rain here going through that Wednesday time frame. This says through Sunday, which, yeah, that's correct, but this is mainly going to be all in a 3-day period here, regardless of this going through Sunday, because we're going to dry out in these areas later next week. So I can't answer that. Usually they don't do PDS tornado watches unless you have like more of like a moderate or high risk of severe weather. I could see a moderate risk upgrade as we do get closer. Maybe today at the 12:30 update. We'll just have to wait and see. I think that's a possibility. They may just kind of expand that slight or that enhanced risk a little bit further at the 12:30 update. We'll have to wait and see on that. I'm not sure about the PDS tornado watch. I don't make the call on that. Again, we have 171 people watching here and only 96 likes. I'd appreciate if we get up to 200 likes here in the next few minutes. Thank you guys for being here. Again, happy Easter to everybody, and hope you guys are all having a good Easter out there. Do you think Dayton, Ohio can get upgraded for Tuesday? Let me go here back to the Tuesday outlook real quick for you. So let's see. Tuesday. Dayton, Ohio is currently in a slight risk, level 2 out of 5 for Tuesday. I think a level 2 out of 5 is probably going to remain possible. I think that's going to remain possible. Actually, if anything, Dayton, Ohio would probably be downgraded to a marginal risk. I think the highest risk you'll see, at least what I'm seeing with the data now, is probably just a slight risk. Yeah, there's some snow in Southern California with that trough coming in, actually. So, yeah, definitely seeing that. Summer's not for a while, Snowies. You got some. We just started spring about a week ago, so we got to wait on that. But definitely warming up as we go to the end of April here. And I guess if you want to see that, we can go to the outlook here real quick. This takes you all the way through April 13th, and you can see the eastern U.S. and really the upper Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and into interior New England is more well above normal for our temperatures. And this takes you through Saturday, April 13th, so nearly to the middle of the month. Places like Milwaukee, Chicago, Detroit, Indianapolis, the Toledo region, Cleveland, over towards Pittsburgh, Albany, New York, Buffalo, Watertown, all those areas well above normal temperatures. And then out west, we're going to see more troughs coming in, and that's going to spell out more trouble, more severe weather, more heavy rainfall setups. It's going to be an active spring severe weather season, folks, and it's definitely going to be a very active April. So that's why we're here for you. Do you think Michigan will get the risk of tornado? No, Michigan is too far north. The warm front is not going to make it that far north. So you're just going to see elevated thunderstorms there in Michigan, and possibly, actually, let me go to Wednesday here. Thunderstorms Monday, Tuesday potentially, or just some plain out rain. And then as we go into Wednesday, that rain could change over to snow in lower Michigan here. So definitely watching that. And then that will continue as we go into Thursday morning commute. And then that snowstorm will shift east and will start to dry out in Michigan later in the week. So kind of a dynamic setup for Michigan. You have rain, heavy rain, and some thunderstorms, non-severe thunderstorms, changing over to snow, some wet snowflakes, a couple inches maybe, and especially grassy surfaces. And then we're ending the week pretty dry. So almost everything this week you can expect there into Michigan. Severe weather would block the solar eclipse. Absolutely. I do think, unfortunately for you folks here, let's talk about that real quick too. Here is Monday, April 8th. I know it's a big day for the total solar eclipse here. We're keeping an eye on. This is not a good look if you want to see the solar eclipse in the central U.S. or the southern U.S. In that path of totality, you have a ridge of high pressure on Monday to the east, but look to the west. We got a trough coming in, and that is actually going to give us a lot of cloud cover. Here's the probability of over 50% coverage of cloud cover in the United States on Monday, April 8th. This is around midday. You can see the Rio Grande Valley into much of Texas here in the deep south. around 70 to 90% coverage of over 70 to 90% chance, I should say, of over 50% coverage of cloud cover. So we're seeing a lot of cloud cover here, and it actually extends up into the Ohio Valley. We have about a 50 to 60% chance of cloud cover over half, over half the sky being covered with clouds. So I really think New England, like Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, and maybe Massachusetts there near the path of totality will be your best bet to see this. I think it's maybe possible in the Ohio Valley, especially the eastern Ohio Valley. But as far as you go further southwest toward Texas, you're probably just not going to see it. That's just the reality of it here. That's what it's been consistent the last few days. And you can see showers developing, and naturally where you see showers and storms on Monday, April 8th, there's going to be clouds. So it's not looking good. If you live in Texas, it's not looking to be clear viewing whatsoever. Not looking to be good. What does it take to become a storm chaser? It takes a lot of learning about weather patterns and a lot of things. You got to be a professional storm chaser. I'm not a storm chaser at all, but if you want to be a professional storm chaser, you definitely got to go through classes and learning a lot of the different dynamics of the atmosphere and knowing how they act. Because if you don't know how they act, storm chasing can be very dangerous for the average person. So that's all I can say. Could Pittsburgh get an upgrade in the severe weather risk? So as we go into Tuesday is Pittsburgh's highest chance for severe weather there as we go into Tuesday. And you can see for Pittsburgh, you're in a slight risk of severe weather right now. I could see them possibly getting upgraded to an enhanced risk, but I don't think so. I think it's going to stay slight. If not, the same thing like Dayton, Ohio. If anything, this will get downgraded to a marginal for the Pittsburgh region. The new SPC outlook comes out at 12:30 in the afternoon. So in about an hour from now, about literally 56 minutes from right now, the outlook should be out for Monday, the new outlook. And then they won't update it again. It'll become the day one outlook at 1 o'clock in the morning on Monday. And they'll update it throughout the day. You'll have 1 a.m. update. You'll have an 8 a.m. update. You'll have an 11:30 a.m. update. And then you'll have a 3 p.m. update. And then obviously the evening update cycle. So your question's getting ignored. What are you asking? Let's see here. Let me scroll up. You think Terre Haute, Indiana could get upgraded for the tornado threat tomorrow? No, I don't think so right now. I think actually just south of you is the highest tornado potential for Monday. So we're talking down toward Effingham, down toward Carbondale and St. Louis. That's the highest threat for tornadoes there on Monday. Here, we'll put that on there. And you can see just south, Terre Haute is like right in there. You're barely on the edge of the tornado risk there, like 2%, maybe close to the 5% there potentially. The 10% and the 10% hatch risk is well to your south and southwest. That's the highest tornado potential as we go into Monday. Could this change? Yes. That's why we're waiting for the new outlook here at 12:30. I can't be certain that I'll be live at 12:30 for the new outlook to come out. I will have updates on my community page or on my community tab on YouTube and also on Twitter. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, consider doing that. And I'll actually post my Twitter to the chat real quick. So let me do that. So let me post my Twitter and X to the chat here real quick so you guys know what to follow there. So let me post it real quick and you guys can. So if you want to follow me there on Twitter or X, you can follow me there. I'll have updates for this event, throughout the day. So as updates come in, so go follow me there. Let's see. All right, just one moment, folks. Just one moment here. All right. Yeah, and if you guys haven't seen my video today, go check out my video this morning that I posted about the severe weather. We're talking all the way through the middle of April with our weather forecast today. We post on this channel, Weather on the Go, mostly every day. Mostly every day. Yeah, Valerie, you might have just popped in after I was mentioning that. Yeah, so for Indiana, we're probably going to see some cloud cover at the very least, but it looks like some showers. So let's go to right here actually real quick. So like here's the probability of over 50% cloud cover. For Indiana, it looks like about a 60% chance. So it's a better chance that you see a mostly cloudy sky on the 8th of April in Indianapolis than you do a clear sky. So that's not good odds for seeing anything. And for showers, you potentially could see a few sprinkles to maybe some lighter showers, but I don't think severe weather is a concern for Indianapolis on the 8th. And again, if you guys are just joining or been here, we still haven't got the likes up yet. We're only at 126. We got almost 200 people watching here. What is happening? Why aren't we getting likes in here? So make sure to like the live stream. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Helps to get all this awareness out to people and warn them about severe weather. It is very important. I don't stress this enough that it is important to get this information about severe weather out to people, especially on these higher impact days where we have especially enhanced, moderate, and high risk days of severe weather because of the danger of them. Severe weather, even a marginal risk day, is dangerous, but if we can get all of this information out to as many people as possible, it helps keep them safe. So you're really helping me out here by doing that. So thank you. Thank you, Ann. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Happy Easter to you. Do you think there will be bad weather in summer in July? I would assume there's probably going to be a heat wave and thunderstorms in July would be my guess. You're wondering about Philly for Saturday and Sunday? I don't know what you're talking about next Saturday and Sunday? I don't have that on here, so you'll have to watch my video. Go watch my video today on the main channel here on Weather on the Go. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, Tony, go watch. Yeah, there you go. Just go watch my channel video that I posted this morning. I'll tell you everything you need to know all the way through the middle of April. Elevation has nothing to do really with, making the tornado threat lower, Michael. It's still, the tornado threat is what it is for Tuesday. You live in Jacksonville, Arkansas? Let me see where that is real quick. All right, so I'm going through you guys' questions still. Don't you worry. We're still doing it here. Let's see. Okay, you're like northeast of Little Rock. All right. For timing on the storms, I believe you're talking about Monday. Let's go. So this is kind of just a, overview. So Monday morning will be dry. I could certainly tell you that Monday morning will be dry outside of a sprinkle or an isolated shower there in Jacksonville, Arkansas. As we go into the afternoon, watching to your north and west. All right, so looking most of the afternoon should be dry. It's the evening hours where we have to keep an eye on. According to the HRRR, storms may not be coming in until mid and late evening. So this is going to be a very dangerous setup, folks, and this is why we need to like the live stream, is because a lot of this setup is going to be after dark. Okay, and we already know what nocturnal tornadoes are capable of. They definitely could be very dangerous. So, and tornadoes are dangerous during the day. So we need to keep an eye on this, definitely. So for Jacksonville, Arkansas, I would say mid to late evening until around midnight is your timing as of right now. The Hatch tornado risk extend into southwestern Indiana? Let's look at that again real quick. Well, there's a 10% chance of tornadoes there in like the Evansville region, so you already have a 10%. The Hatch risk, yeah, it definitely could. It could extend there into southwestern Indiana. And actually, I think this 10% could actually be expanded down into eastern Oklahoma and possibly the Hatched area as well, maybe even in the 12:30 p.m. Update from the Storm Prediction Center. We'll have to wait and see. Right now, the Storm Prediction Center is favoring the warm front for the most tornado potential, but I still think if we do see more of those discrete, semi-discrete supercells there in eastern Oklahoma, that 10% hatch risk will be making its way down toward Tulsa and like the Ardmore region, maybe even Fort Smith, Arkansas. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. Gabriel, your question doesn't make any sense to me, honestly. Any state in the United States, Alaska and Hawaii included, could have a tornado. So I don't know what you're trying to ask there. It didn't really make sense. Unfortunately, I can't answer that. Yeah, hopefully not. Joplin is in a 10% chance of tornadoes. And very well, Joplin could be added to the significant probability of a long track strong tornado. Right now, they're outside of that looking in, but definitely could be seeing a 10% hatch risk extending back into Joplin as well. So we're keeping an eye on that. But there is a 10% chance or 10% probability of a tornado within a 25-mile radius there of Joplin. No worries, Angel. Thanks for being here. Happy Easter. What about Austin, Texas? Austin, Texas, you're very close to the tornado potential there on Monday, but you do in general have a marginal risk of severe weather like right around your area there. It's right along the dry line, and the coverage of storms down in Texas is actually going to be more isolated to widely scattered. We're not seeing any widespread severe weather outbreak in Texas, really. Even for the Dallas-Fort Worth area and that slight risk, we're really not seeing a huge outbreak of severe weather like where we're going to see like every single storm become severe. I think the reason why because of that is because the cap on the atmosphere. You have a capping inversion. It's warm at the surface, and you have a shallow, warm layer aloft. It's going to be hard to get those real strong updrafts. Now, if the cap breaks, then we could start to see severe weather. That's why the Storm Prediction Center has that slight risk in North Texas, including Dallas-Fort Worth, Denton, and then up here very close to Texarkana. And they have like that marginal risk down toward Austin, San Antonio, and Waco. So we'll keep an eye on that. Ohio has 3 days of severe weather. Today, tomorrow, on Monday, you have a marginal to slight risk right now. Slight risk is down near Cincinnati. Marginal up there toward Dayton and Columbus and also the Chillicothe region. And on Tuesday, I believe, is their best chance for severe weather in the state of Ohio, as you do have the entire state except for areas near the coast there of Lake Erie and maybe up there toward Toledo. We'll be seeing severe weather potential, marginal risk for the rest of the state, and then you have a slight risk in central Ohio, Dayton over there to Chillicothe and Columbus, and then down towards Cincinnati. And far southern Ohio, it's a level 3 out of 5 and enhanced risk. And this also could, again, be expanded further as we go deeper in towards Tuesday. Ardmore, Oklahoma, yes. Ardmore, Oklahoma is my concern for tornado potential and very large hail tomorrow. I think here you have, right now you have the Ardmore area is in an enhanced risk, I would just consider you an enhanced risk in the Ardmore area for Monday. It's within a 25-mile radius. So if you're like right on the edge, if you're in the slight risk, any of you folks in a slight risk right on the edge of the slight and enhanced, just consider yourself in an enhanced risk. It's within a 25-mile radius is what that means. So if you're within 25 miles of that enhanced risk, just consider yourselves in that enhanced risk. You're welcome. Chicago, you're not seeing any severe weather, just some heavy rainfall potential. Could be seeing potentially up to, let me see here without just saying that. Verify real quick. And my cat's outside my door, so just letting you know. Also, okay, so 1 to 3 inches worth of rainfall. 1 to 3 inches of rainfall as we go into Chicago, Cook County. Further south, like eastern Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, Kankakee, Joliet, over there towards like Indianapolis, we could be talking about 1 to 3, maybe up to 5, 6 inches of rain. So some pretty heavy rain for Chicago. What about Nashville, Tennessee? My friend's dad lives there. Nashville has the highest potential for severe weather on Tuesday. So let's start on Monday first. So for Nashville, on Monday, you were actually in a general thunderstorm risk, so no severe weather on Monday. As we go into Tuesday, Nashville is actually in a slight risk, a level 2 out of 5. All modes of severe weather, tornadoes, damaging wind gusts, and also hail, large hail at that, would be possible. I could see the enhanced risk being extended down into Nashville potentially if they expand this, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Definitely a possibility, but for right now, it's mainly Kentucky, southeastern Indiana, southern Ohio, and western West Virginia with that enhanced risk for Tuesday. Thank you, Darcy, for the $5 donation. What's going to happen in Harrison, Arkansas? So let me look that real quick. Harrison, Arkansas. So for Harrison, Arkansas for Monday, you were actually, I believe, you're in an enhanced risk for severe weather on Monday. So in Harrison, Arkansas there, northern Arkansas, northwest Arkansas, you're in an enhanced risk of severe weather as we go into Monday. You also have a 15% chance of large hail. The significant hail for right now is to your west. 5% chance of a tornado in your area, and you also have a 30% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour or greater. So definitely seeing that. So watching out for that there in the Harrison, Arkansas area. The timing for the storms in Harrison, Arkansas, we could be talking about, we're literally talking about late afternoon, but mainly evening. So most of the morning dry outside of a stray shower or storm. Afternoon, pretty dry for most of the afternoon. It's late afternoon and really the evening. Storms will be moving in from the west and northwest. Watching those supercells from eastern Oklahoma crossing into Arkansas through Fort Smith. Watching you there in the Harrison region, and then from the north as well. So they're going to kind of congeal into a big QLCS line that could produce some tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail and all that. And it'll be, again, kind of like the area. I had a question about the Little Rock area earlier. It's going to be the same thing, I think, mid to late evening into the midnight time frame. Could southern Oklahoma see the 10% risk of tornadoes? I don't think southern Oklahoma is going to see that. Yeah, southern Oklahoma is probably not going to see a 10% hatched risk of tornadoes, but a 5% is there now. You may see maybe a 10% there in southeastern Oklahoma at the far. I don't think the 10% is going to extend into North Texas, though. That's a very good question, Weather with Sim. Do you think a hatched 10% tornado risk could also get added to the enhanced risk day for day 3 on Tuesday? That's a good question. Right now, with what I'm seeing, so right now they don't have any probability, because this is the day 3 outlook. There's no probability for this yet. I would imagine that there is probably a 5% probability for tornadoes in that enhanced risk area for Tuesday. But yes, I could see potentially with the wind shear in place. With the wind shear in place, you have the instability. You don't need a lot of instability this time of year. You have very strong mid-level jet, and then the low-level jet is actually stronger, it looks like, on Tuesday than on Monday. So I think if there were to be a 10% hatch risk for tornadoes, it'd be up near the warm front. So southeastern Indiana, southern Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia would be probably more primed to see that 10% hatch risk for tornadoes if it were to be issued for Tuesday. We'll keep an eye on that. That's a very good question. Is there a derecho chance in the severe area? No, I don't see a derecho with this setup. I know some people probably think so. I don't think there's going to be a derecho with this setup, because if you look at the timing of the storms and what the HRRR so far is putting out, here's again Monday morning, Monday afternoon, and then Monday evening, it's really loosely organized still. The storms are still trying to congeal together, and I don't really see a derecho chance with this. I don't see it. I think this will be more of a loosely organized MCS or QLCS, whatever you want to call it. And I think this is going to be more of a threat of, still damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes, but I think it's going to be too loosely organized. We might just have a period later on Monday evening, or even probably after midnight, where we have, sparse severe thunderstorm warnings. For a derecho, you need severe warnings in a certain criteria for, I think, over 250 miles and for hours, and it has to be consistent. So I don't see that for Monday or Tuesday either, really. But we are getting closer to derecho season, so that is important to know. Again, if you are here, haven't subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing to Weather on the Go. Also, subscribe to the second channel pinned at the top of the chat. If you live in the northern plains, The Central Plains, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, or the Great Lakes region, we will keep you covered on that channel more closely, so definitely do that. Go check out my video today as well. If you haven't checked out my weather forecast video posted on Weather on the Go today. What about Southwest Ohio on Tuesday and Monday could get... I don't speculate too much. I think there's likely to be an upgrade to a moderate risk for Monday. For Tuesday, though, right now we're looking at an enhanced risk. So, like, if we're going to see an upgrade to a moderate risk there for Monday's event, which could, they could upgrade to a moderate risk already at the 12:30 update. It's possible. It's a potential. If they do, I think the moderate risk would be from portions of southwestern Illinois into Missouri, southern Missouri that is, northwest Arkansas, and northeastern portions of Oklahoma. That's where that moderate risk would be, right in the middle of where the enhanced risk is right now. That's where they would add that if it were to be issued. What is a derecho, Jennifer? A derecho is a powerful line of storms typically associated during the summer with heat waves. If you look at a heat wave on the United States, you have a big ridge of high pressure, right? You got a high pressure system. The airflow around a high pressure is clockwise, right? So you have a bunch of heat building in the south central U.S. You have airflow clockwise around the high pressure, and typically what you call ridge rider storms. So you have like a big trough coming in off the west coast, but it can't move that ridge. The ridge is too strong, can't overtake it. So the trough actually moves up and over the ridge, and sometimes you can get a disturbance with thunderstorms, and sometimes one thunderstorm can turn into a big thunderstorm complex like a bow echo. If you don't know what a bow echo is, it's a backward C-shaped type of complex, and it actually produces straight line damaging winds over a large distance in a short amount of time. So like we're talking a fast moving line of storms, usually 50, 60, 70, 80 mile per hour speed, forward speed on that, and hurricane force winds. And actually there was a derecho in eastern Iowa, in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Iowa City, just back in August 2020, was the strongest derecho ever in U.S. history, producing straight line wind damage of over 120 miles per hour, straight line winds without a tornado. Definitely very, very powerful, flattened cornfields, and a lot of damage from that one. So that was more of a once in a century, once in a generation type of storm there. Yeah, absolutely. They can. Yeah, they definitely can, Austin. Tipton County, Tennessee, the Memphis area. Memphis is not in a severe weather risk for Monday, but for Tuesday, let's look at Tuesday's risk here real quick for Memphis. Memphis, you're on the edge on Tuesday, so it's going to kind of almost skip over. You're not going to see really like the most intense severe weather of this event in Memphis. You're going to see the weakening part of it on Monday. It's going to be weakening as it moves into West Memphis, and then re-strengthening east of you as it looks now. So Memphis is kind of like in between there. So the Memphis area is in a level 1 out of 5 right now, marginal risk. Could the slight risk be peeled back to the west towards Memphis? It's possible, but right now it's a level 1 out of 5, a marginal. So still watching for those isolated 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, large hail, quarter size or so, and maybe a tornado there for Memphis. That's about it. But again, remain weather aware. It could be a very busy next couple of days. Yes, I did gaming. I did. I covered all of pretty much everything that you guys need to know so far today. I've answered a lot of questions so far, so hopefully you guys, if you guys haven't caught any of the answers, just replay this live stream back or go watch my video today. Definitely get all the answers that you need for that. All right, well, thank you guys so much again for joining here on this Easter. And right now, again, stay safe for Monday, Tuesday. We'll have a new video update for you on Monday tomorrow on the main channel and also on the second channel, which is North Central Weather Center. If you do not have North Central Weather Center, as you know, you're not a subscriber there, make sure to go subscribe to that. That's pinned at the top of the chat, especially if you live in the North Central Plains. If you live in the Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, go subscribe to that. We're almost to 700 subscribers on that one. So make sure that you go subscribe to that if you live in those areas for more detailed forecast. Also be sure to stay subscribed or subscribe to this channel. Like the live stream on the way out. I definitely appreciate it. And again, thank you guys so much for being here. If you guys have any other questions that you haven't had answered in the chat, don't worry. I will answer as many questions as I can after the live stream. So just continue to ask your questions. I'll be able to respond to you here this afternoon sometime as we go through the afternoon. So thank you guys so much for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your March 31st Easter, and have a wonderful April Fool's tomorrow. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you guys. Goodbye.